Hey, and good afternoon, everybody. Tuesday, September 24th. How you doing this afternoon? Decided to go ahead and give you a 5 o'clock advisory update here on Tropical Storm Helene. Plan on doing a few of these here for tomorrow. We'll do about 10, 15 minutes on each one of these and give you opportunity to answer questions and kind of go over the latest from the National Hurricane Center. First, I do want to thank everybody who's been giving me the birthday wishes for today. Yeah, yours truly's birthday for today. And I'd like to welcome the new subscribers to the channel. If you're coming in after this update and you haven't yet subscribed, to be an honor and a pleasure to be one of your weather services out here in the YouTube universe. If you could please do me the favor and please subscribe to the channel and follow us, as we're going to be watching a pretty potent system here that's coming in the United States. I'm going to first start off by taking a look here at what's going on with the big picture, looking across the continental United States. And the reason for that is it's this big dip in the jet stream. You're seeing this big trough in here. This is what's going to pick up our system and bring it northward here across Georgia, okay? That is what's coming, is we've got this kind of cutoff low here that's going to kind of form right in here, and that is going to be a problem, folks, as these things, I've never seen this kind of setup, I'll be honest with you. Never seen this. I've seen it over the ocean, but never on a landfalling tropical system, to say the least. Here is the close-up views here on the system, okay? It's still kind of organizing here, starting to get some thunderstorms around that center of circulation starting to take place here. So as this thing gets better organized, it should start to see things begin to improve on it. So you're starting to fill in with the thunderstorms around the center of circulation. It's been finding a little bit of wind shear for today, so this is going to allow the system to start to strengthen. It's dropped about 5 millibars here so far for today. And we're going to see probably a pretty good transition overnight. It'll be interesting to see what tomorrow morning looks like as compared to right now. Now, regionally, again, looking at the South Florida radar, seeing some of the extreme outer bands from the system down toward Key West and heading down toward, say, Cuba. You can see some of the radar showing some of those bands down there near Havana, but that's still good ways away from the center of circulation as this thing is well out to the south. So, again, we do have some updated advisories that are coming in here on this. This will be updated here shortly, as some new warnings have just now been issued here. And so this map will be changing here shortly here from Pivotal Weather, just waiting for them to do their update on this, as it was just now issued from the Hurricane Center. So right now, Key West, not looking bad right now, but I can promise you tomorrow they're going to have a little more rough weather out there. And they're not going to get a direct hit, though he's getting some of the fringe effects from the storm, some squally weather. And thank you for the new subscriber. I do appreciate you coming on board here. And we'll see how things kind of deteriorate here, not only just here, but also in the Tampa area. I got a camera here in Tampa looking as well, as they're going to be on the fringe of the system as well. And they could see some hurricane gusts, as they do have the watches up in that area and the warnings as well. So also, when we're talking about the landfalling system, we're going to be talking about severe weather. The right side of that center of circulation, all that in yellow, that's also going to be where your tornado risk is going to be, running about 5% in that yellow across Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. But I'll tell you, the big thing, folks, on this is going to be the flooding risk, okay? The flooding risk is going to be huge here across most of the state of Georgia, heading up to the Appalachians. Because the angle of attack of where this thing is coming on in, the amount of moisture that the mountains are going to run into is going to be tremendous. It's going to be almost like a sponge. It's going to squeeze the atmosphere as that tropical air is going to be forced upward. And North Georgia mountains up into the Carolinas, South Carolina, they can see rainfall amounts in excess of 10 inches. So mudslides, it's going to be really, really bad. I got a bad feeling about this one as far as the flooding potential as this thing begins to look out. This is your excessive rainfall outlook heading into your Thursday. This is the day 3 outlook there that you're looking at. All right, so we got two systems. Obviously, Helene is the one we're worried about. The other storm that's well out there, that one will become Isaac, but that's going to be a fish storm. We're not going to worry about that one. So here is the latest here on Tropical Storm Helene. Top sustained winds at 50 miles per hour. Got to get to 75 before we see a hurricane. So I expect the pressure will continue to fall. Its forward speed is checked up a little bit. It's west-northwest at about 12. So haven't really seen any big changes in the track. A lot of the model data there is pretty locked in there on the Florida Big Bend. So you can see the hurricane warnings that are up there right now from near Tampa all the way over toward near Panama City up there on the Florida Big Bend. So again, you got that cone of uncertainty there because this is a weird setup, folks. We're dealing with something that, again, is not, I can't remember recent memory, a pivot move that I'm going to show you here in the model data here shortly of a hurricane, of a surface low and an upper level low, and how they're going to kind of merge to become this one entity as this thing makes landfall. as we go into Thursday and into this upcoming weekend. So now another thing I do want to point out here is the storm surge. This is going to be very interesting. I found this website here. It's a good one here to use, and I want to show you this here as a comparison. Okay, now what you're looking at right here is a Category 1 hurricane making landfall in that area near the Florida Big Bend area. Okay, that's Category 1. Category 3 is what it's expected to do. Look at the difference here to Cat 3. See how much further inland that water goes? And then if it went up to, say, a Cat 5, boom, it's significant. So the highest storm surge is in here. We're talking 10 to 15 feet storm surge potentially with the system. So we're talking about a Cat 3. Thank God there's not a lot of population cities in that particular area, but storm surge is going to be significant as that water is going to funnel. It's going to funnel into that area as we go into late tomorrow. We're looking at about 8 o'clock for a landfall on this system as we head into Thursday, okay? Tomorrow I'll be watching it strength, so we're talking about Thursday. So we're about 48 hours away, roughly, from a landfall. We're dealing with some very warm waters out in the tropical areas here. 31 degrees Celsius is about 87 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's bath water. We got a lot of fuel for this system to feed off of as it moves to the north, okay? There's just some slight inhibiting factors, a little bit of wind shear and stuff. It's questions on the strength. That's probably the most pressing issue on this, is how strong is this system going to get as it goes forward. So Hurricane Hunter aircraft, they've kind of been out there, and there'll be another plane arriving there on scene here very soon to kind of give us the draw on that, okay? So what we're going to do here is I want to show you a couple of models here. We're going to talk about the strength of this system and how that's going to kind of the track and the strength of the two systems. So I want to look at a couple of models here. We're going to first look at the North American model run here from earlier today. We're going to kind of watch this system come up here from the south and check out these two things. I mean, this is very, very, very interesting. So here's our hurricane down here. Here's our upper low right here. I mean, they're going to become linked. Okay, they're interlinked. They're kind of pivoting. The Fujiwara effect is what we call it. They're kind of rotating around each other. Like I said, I've seen this in the ocean. I've never seen it on a landfalling tropical system, to say this. But this thing moves on in, and this is showing about a 955 millibar hurricane. Okay, that's definitely a strong 3, maybe bordering on a Cat 4 there for this system moving in, if the NAM was correct. Now, the NAM was pretty good with Hurricane Michael back in 2018 as far as its strength's concerned. But this thing moves on in, and look what happens. It just gets absorbed right in to that low pressure system, and it moves in across Georgia. So the track there across between, say, Columbus and Macon is pretty good right there as this moves on through. All right, so this is going to move on up to the north. Let's compare this to the European model, okay? European model, that's the one I tend to kind of favor, I'll be honest with you. That's the one I kind of watch here. So watch as this comes in from the south. Again, it comes up to the north. There is a frontal system that's moving in here. We got a little bit of a squeeze play going on here. As that front's going to stall, it's not going anywhere. It can't go anywhere until the hurricane kicks on out. You got a frontal system, a hurricane, the money's always on the hurricane. Hurricane's always going to win out until it kind of clears on out. But here's something I want you to watch. Watch this closely now. As that goes out a little further, NAM only goes out about 84 hours. So as this thing moves inland, again, similar paths. Now, notice here that the millibars on this is about 976. Okay, that's comparable to Francine. So we're talking about a Cat 2 on the European side of this. So a Category 2 on this. But watch what happens with this thing gets absorbed in. Just really gets sucked right in. The two entities just merge into each other as it goes in. And thank you there, Lindsay, for subscribing to the channel. I do appreciate you coming on board there. So this thing gets absorbed on in, then eventually it's going to get kicked on out. And I'll be honest with you, we'll see a pretty good, decent weather here across the country. Again, I want to show you this again in perspective from the upper level perspective. Watch the two systems. Again, they're coming together. Here we go. Here's one big low over here. We got our other big low sitting over here. And these two are just going to come together. We call it a marriage of just gets sucked all together. Look at that. Just wow. I've never seen that. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been doing this a long time, 25 years. I've never seen that on a landfalling system get absorbed into an upper level low like that. It's like a big vacuum. And then this thing eventually is going to get kicked on out, and we'll be looking at some pretty good weather. Now, I want to go back to my main concern here with this system. Well, we're going to have tornadoes. Moderate risk here, especially on the east side of that landfalling system. You got the storm surge, but not a very big populated area in there as long as it stays to the right of Apalachicola. That's kind of no man's land. There's not a whole lot of people in there. So storm surge Problem, yes, for some of the little thing in there, but again, not a big population zone. I'm really concerned about the rainfall amounts on this thing. Again, we're looking at the, we'll switch over. This is the European model again, showing up here to the north and kicking this out. Let me go over to the rainfall one. I'm sorry, I want to go to this. Okay, so watch the rainfall here as this thing comes on up. We're talking some very, very high rainfall amounts here, especially across the northeast Georgia mountains. Why is it that high? Okay. Again, you got the path coming up and going like this. The flow is going to be this way. You got the mountains in here, and that provides additional lift. So that tropical air is going to be lifting, and it's going to squeeze it almost like a sponge, and you're going to see some excessive rainfall amounts across portions of Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, all up in those higher elevations as that air is forced to lift. And we could see some serious flooding coming down to North Georgia, coming in on the Chattahoochee, coming into metro Atlanta. That is a major concern here. And of course, anywhere in this zone, as we were showing you, that it will be where a lot of your tornado threat's going to be. So the flooding threat's going to be high. We're going to see a major rain event with this. A lot of flooding here, especially across those Georgia mountains in the Appalachians as this thing begins to make landfall. So again, we got a couple days to watch this. So the big question here as we go forward is, I think we're pretty set on the path. I think that's pretty, it might wobble a little bit here or there. The question mark is going to be the intensity and strength of the storm. And why is that important? Because as this thing moves up toward the north, and I do want to show you this one more time. Let's go back to the Francine latest. Again, this thing, once it gets up near the coast, it's going to accelerate very fast. Very similar to Hurricane Opal back in, say, 1995. If it gets stronger than anticipated and the forward speed goes forward, that means they're going across Florida and into Georgia. The hurricane force winds may spread further inland, okay? And the power outages could be significantly more because of that. So again, the intensity of the storm is a bit of a question mark. It could be anywhere from maybe a 100-mile-per-hour Cat 2, similar to what we saw with Francine, or it could be something a little bit more. And I know this morning's 12Z runs were going Cat 3, Cat 4, then it kind of backed off. It's been waffling back and forth, so still question marks on the strength. So my intent here for you guys, so you guys can go forward, is what I'm planning on doing is I am going to continue to monitor this for tomorrow. Tomorrow's plan is going to be like this. I will do another update similar to this one at 8 o'clock, at 11 o'clock, and at 2 o'clock. About 10 to 15 minutes we'll spend on that. We'll do the update and come on. Then tomorrow night, beginning between 5 and 8, I'll do a 3-hour block of coverage as we kind of watch what happens with the storm. I answer questions. We'll go through everything on that, and we'll go forward. And then on Thursday, when we get to landfall day, I will be keeping my snacks and keeping my drinks and ready to go. We will probably look at about an 8 a.m. start, and we will go up until landfall. And watching it, I'm up in northeast Georgia. I'm really got some concerns up this way for some gusty winds up in my neighborhood, as well as some flooding potential up here as well. All right, that's your update. Hey, you guys do me a favor. Please subscribe, share, get this to your friends. We want to get as many people out there informed as possible. We're growing the channel. We've had a great day of growth. We've added about 16 new subscribers to the channel. It's good to see us moving in a good direction. And, you know, I try to give it to you straight. I do not like playing the hype machine out there and go overboard. But this one, it could be significant, especially for the interior sections with the flooding and the tornado risk. Storm surge, yes, it's there, but it's not in a very big populated area. That's the only big plus on that as well. And I see some of you guys out there answering some questions out there and stuff. Again, I could pull you guys up here a little bit. And we got, hey, Christopher Jones there from Spring Hill. Glad to see you there. Thank you, Chris. Good to see you there. There's Kova. Hey, how you doing? Good to say hello to you guys as well. And I love to have that. There's Rita. Rita remembers praying that we don't get an opal back in there. Absolutely, Rita. Absolutely. There's Donkey. What you say there, Donkey? New miles going west of the Yucatan, no major hurricane. Yeah, we'll see how that works out, Donkey. That's what I was saying. Questions on the strength and intensity. I kind of lean toward the European. I think a Cat 2 is probably what we're going to get here. Although officially we're still looking at a Cat 2. Cat 3 right now, barely at 115. Terry Brinson, going to be catastrophic. It could be with the flooding, my friend. Absolutely. For the interior sections there, could be quite significant, to say the least, on there. So Steve Smith, heading down to Mexico Beach in the morning to put up my outdoor furniture. Absolutely. Oh, one other thing on that. You just reminded me of something. If you are in the path of this storm, if you're in Georgia, Florida, East Alabama, up in Tennessee, make sure you secure your lawn furniture, your trash cans, and all those fall decorations. Make sure you secure those things as well. I got to bring mine in from outside so they don't become projectiles to damage your house, to damage your car, to damage your neighbor's house. Bring that stuff in if you're in the path of this storm, okay? And this is going to be a pretty decent wind field. This is a bigger wind field than what we had with Francine, so it's going to have a bigger impact as far as the winds moving on in. All right, that's it. That's your update for now, guys. We did about 15 minutes on that, about what I wanted to do. And we'll see you again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. We'll take a look at those overnight models and see if things have changed anything as far as the intensity forecast of now Tropical Storm Helene. Okay? All right, you guys take it easy. We'll see you tomorrow morning.